Number two is a little more ambitious. And this relates to your generation. I think we have to give the next generation of Americans more skin in the game in the American dream. Actual skin in the game in the upside of economic growth. So I'll lay out a vision of what this could look like. This is hypothetical here, right? But suppose every kid born in the country started with $10,000 invested in the S&P 500. Okay? You allow the mathematical magic of compounding to work. Albert Einstein called this the greatest discovery of man, compound interest. Well, the S&P's historically returned around 10% a year. 100% of those young people would be millionaires by the age of 50, certainly by the age of 55, multimillionaires by 60. You would not need dependence on Social Security, Medicare, Medicaid, or welfare because you'd be a millionaire in your own right instead. How much would that cost? There's 3.7 million kids born in the country every year. $10,000 a kid, that's $37 billion a year. That's a lot of money, but it is nothing compared to that entitlement state you talked about. $3.1 trillion for Social Security, Medicare, and Medicaid alone. That doesn't even count SNAP or welfare. So that for that trade-off, for 1% of the cost, you're actually able to give an entire generation skin in the game in actually loving American capitalism. And one of the things that conservatives, I'm sometimes critical of us just criticizing, left-wing socialist tendencies. Well, the reason why socialism is more popular amongst young people is they feel like they don't have skin in the game in American upside. The best way to combat the popularity of socialism is actually to make everyone a capitalist in the first place and tie some work requirements to that. If you did that in Ohio, I would say you get that money later if and only if you have lived, worked, and remained in the state of Ohio over that period of time, because we have a problem where young people leave the state. I want to keep them in this state. So I think we got to think outside the box with attaching work requirements, yes. Cutting entitlements, realistically, is just not going to happen. But you can start with a clean slate in the next generation where instead of having an entitled generation, you can have a generation of millionaires who are rooting for economic success because they have skin in the game and a piece of the upside. That, to me, is America's path out of the entitlement crisis. So we could go on for a few hours about that one, too. But when we think about if you're really structurally fixing the country, you got to fix three things in the country. You got to have sensible immigration policy, you got to have sensible off-ramp off the welfare state, and you ultimately have to have sensible regulatory reform in the country. Do those three things, and I think we're well on our way to a revival, and I'm confident we're going to get there. Thank you.